Plaintiff Stacy Thomas says she allowed the defendant and her husband to move in with her and her son. But her son and the defendant ended up having an affair. And he's here today as the defendant's witness. Stacy suing the defendant for rent and emotional distress. Defendant Melinda Rewerts says Stacy's nothing but a liar and a manipulator. Melinda claims after Stacy tried to illegally evict her in the middle of the night, she had Melinda falsely arrested, claiming she assaulted Stacy. She's countersuing for property and emotional distress.
Start with you.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, back in November of 2013, Melinda Rewerts was moved in by my son, Andrew Naranjo, which I have not seen, Your Honor, in 4.5 months since he spit in my face. Your
You
Honor...
shouldn't be seeing him at all anymore.
Well, there's a lot involved.
As in nobody should be seeing him at all anymore.
Well, it's happened twice since he's been with...
My face that disappeared. No one will see them anymore.
It's happened twice, Your Honor, since he's been with Miss Rewerts. Your Honor, she resided at my residence in November of 2013 with the understanding when she moved from a safe house in Lansing, Michigan to my residence.
What's the safe house? A homeless transitional place or something?
Yes, Your Honor. And there was a check cut to my landlord for $800, which was stopped because she had lied.
Okay, tell me the agreement that you all had when she moved into your home.
She was going to pay me $275 a month.
Direct to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's not true.
Okay, let her finish and then we'll see.
Your Honor.
What month was that to begin?
That was to begin in December.
All right, and what did happen?
Come January, she had paid me $150. First, she had paid $180, Your Honor. I'm backing up. Please beg my pardon. January, she had paid me $150.
First, let me allow her to tell me what the agreement was. Sounds like she was disputing the amounts.
She offered me a room. It was not directly through her son. However, the agreement was to pay her $150 a month and to also put food into the house. That was it.
Did you pay the $150?
I paid her $500 when I am the one who added myself on the lease to make it legit. So I wouldn't, falsely be put out or, what have you due to her rap sheet.
All right, so that's you all's, what rap sheet are you talking about?
Just starting issues, manipulating situations to fit herself, lying.
A rap sheet is conviction for a crime.
That's right, Your Honor, and I've never been convicted.
A track record, okay. All right.
A track record, Your Honor.
It's a big difference, man.
I apologize. Track record, however.
So let me get back to her on this and the emotional distress. And what's the total amount you say she failed to pay? You want to give me that list?
Your Honor, shortly after that, her and my son, her husband was residing in my home also. Her and my son committed adultery under my roof.
Hold on. Her and her husband were both living there?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then she had relations with your son?
My son.
All right, and what was the ramification for that? Why are you telling me that?
Ramification was that there was a lot of gunfiring going on. My son was beat.
Busy house.
My son was beat at... It was a 5-bedroom home. This is not a laughing matter,
okay.
Your Honor. Not at all.
Okay.
And this is a liar here.
Okay.
Her husband resided in my home and he was removed from the home. He left
You sound like you were getting emotional about your son, though. What happened to your son?
My son and her was involved. Her husband was very jealous that my son took his wife away.
Did he attack your son? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
The defendant's husband personally attacked your son?
Yes.
All right, and was there a claim filed, a criminal court?
Yes, sir.
This is a claim by your son against
This is the police
her
report.
husband?
This is the police reports throughout the time that we all resided
About
at.
the jumping? No, we're talking about the thing
Yes.
you got all emotional about and
Yes.
said, this is not a laughing matter, made us
Yes.
feel bad about. I need you to show me. I need you to show me in these police reports where it says that he jumped on your son, so much so that you're breaking down today and act like we've done something to you, me and Doyle. So I hope you have it.
Yes.
In fact, he's here today, your son.
Yes,
Why not
he
just
is.
ask you?
Yes, he is.
The best way to do that. Stand up, sir. Stand up. All right. Your mother says that her husband beat you, shot at you, and she's so shook up about it that when Doyle tried to throw a little levity in there, and I half followed up, she got upset and began acting as if we were traumatizing her. So, did it happen?
There was no guns involved. We got into a physical altercation.
You and he talking and a disagreement and you get into a fight.
Yes, Your Honor.
You aren't traumatized.
No, Your Honor.
You aren't devastated.
No.
You hear him, ma'am? Don't you be broken up so much, because he doesn't mind. He's smiling. So, let's move on with the rent. You say the rent was $150. Did you pay it every month that was due?
No, Your Honor. I ended up moving out in February because she received the eviction to evacuate herself in January.
So the rent wasn't paid by anyone.
She was evicted. She illegally
so that's
evicted
what I'm
me
saying.
at 2 o'clock in the morning.
What?
She illegally evicted me at 2 o'clock in the morning.
After or before she was evicted?
After.
All right. And so that's why you refuse to pay it. Because you
Absolutely.
don't owe it at all.
Absolutely.
And the landlord never accused you of owing it.
It's a lie.
No, he didn't.
All right. And the landlord never mentioned $275 to you.
No.
All right.
I wasn't even
And-
brought to court.
All right. And the landlord, however, submits to me a note for the $275. The landlord only made reference to $275.
I have
Didn't
no
make
idea.
reference to $150. Now, unless you have something that says $150, I'm going to go with what she says because she provided evidence from the landlord. Your counterclaim for unreturned property and emotional distress. How does she owe you for that?
Because when she illegally had me arrested on false accusations stating that I hit her with keys, which I have my sister's statement here with me. My sister was there with me to get my belongings. Bottom line is she tried kicking me and my 4-year-old disabled daughter out at 2 o'clock in the morning. I ended up leaving that same morning at 6 a.m. where my sister came and picked me and him up.
How does she kick you out?
She told me to leave. She started packing my
But isn't your
belongings
name
and
on,
throwing them
hold
out.
on, ma'am. Isn't your name on the lease?
Yes.
So you didn't have to leave.
I didn't have to.
So she didn't kick you out.
She did kick me out because she started.
You only get
such-
kicked out when you don't have to leave. Your alternative is to go lay in the bed and say, I ain't going nowhere.
And to deal
My
with
name
her,
is on the lease and I'm not budging. Tell me about the property now.
Okay, she started throwing my stuff out, which I do have a picture of. And also the time that she stated that I beat her with keys, whipped her with keys, however that worked out. My sister was also there and she
The police get
submitted a
involved
statement.
in that.
Yes, she called the police and
And
said
what
that,
happened? What was the result? Were you charged?
No.
All right. And the property, ma'am, what happened to her property?
Sir, she got all that property. My friend here was there the day that Carrie DeBerry, her sister, and my son stood there and took all her belongings.
All
Well,
right,
she
ma'am, you
spent
wanna
9 days in
testify?
jail.
Sure.
Stand up.
I was at work.
State
I
your
know.
name.
Brandy Moore.
And you know for a fact that she took all of her property?
Yes, I was
How
there.
do you know?
Because I watched her sister and him take it out to her car.
What did you see taken out?
Everything that was in the room that they resided in.
Clothes?
Just boxes. Everything that was in that room. Because she went to jail.
How do you know everything that was in her room?
Everything was in boxes. Is what I don't know exactly what
There
was in
you
the
go.
boxes,
I don't
but
know.
her stuff
Well,
was.
you
They
said
took
the-
her stuff
You said
out.
the operative word, I don't know.
I don't know what was in the boxes.
Correct. So you can't tell whether she took all her things or not. Thank you, ma'am, for your testimony.
And
All
Your
right.
Honor, he was
And-
never there. So
and
for
ma'am,
both of
you
them
have
to-
any other evidence that your property was taken?
Yes.
What
Or-
is that you have?
That it wasn't taken? It
yes,
wasn't.
that she
It was
threw your
destroyed.
things
It was
out.
destroyed. And Your Honor, I also have text messages between me and her stating that she angrily called the police because she knew I had a warrant that they were going to arrest me on. I never was charged for assaulting her. In fact, that never came about until weeks later.
It says I threw it all out. Why didn't you just give me this? We going through all this. She says in the text message, I threw it all out.
Sorry.
Your Honor, I have her text messages.
Ma'am,
proving
I'm
that she
looking at a text
abused me.
message. She has evidence, and that's part of your
Yes,
claim.
and that's what I've been trying to show
embarrass.
you.
Ma'am, don't start all that like somebody's victimizing you.
I
Nobody's
don't.
doing anything to you. You done thrown this woman's stuff out, got in here lying about it, lying about somebody jumping on your son. Your son said he's happy with everything that happened. He's in here smiling, and then everything I say, Judge, how can you do this to me? I've been trying to show you. You haven't allowed me to talk or nothing. Lying all along and admitting that you threw this woman's stuff out on the text. How did she abuse you? You tell me.
She had a chain link keychain that come around her neck. She slung it off from me like this and threw it at me. We had had an argument that day. It was during the day while she was moving her stuff.
And it was the day that you had asked her to leave.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to conclude that was abuse. I'm going to conclude that you all were arguing about your attempt to illegally evict her. I'm going to grant her the property where you admitted you threw it all out. And with regard to your rent, you say that it was $150. The landlord says it was $275. So I'm going to believe her on the rent. So, ma'am, I'm going to grant you $1,470 on your rent. I'm going to grant you $1,000 on your property, meaning she still owes you $470. With regard to the emotional distress, I'm not granting anyone any emotional distress. I'll grant you your property and, once again, the money for the rent. And that's it. Have a good day, ladies.
Thank you.
You'll never see the kids as long as you're with them.
Oh, don't worry about it. Broken threats. All broken
Just leave
threats.
me alone,
You're a
Mindy.
manipulative liar.
Yeah.
You destroy people's lives.
Yeah.
Destroy them.
Well, I hope you get the mental help that you actually need. And
Thank you.
Able to stop ruining people's lives.
Thank you.
As well as you guys need it.
Well,
No,
you
we
ain't got
don't
room
need
to talk with your
anything.
dope-headed son.
We're doing
so shut up.
fine.
Oh, really? You're not a dope head?
No, I'm on
My son goes to
probation.
classes because you guys sold it dope.
Oh, yeah?
I had text messages that she was asking me, do you know anybody who wants to buy oxys? Or,
That's funny. You
yeah.
guys are two peas in a pod.